through one of my tutors, I've managed to get a contact for Melvin Odoom. So, for who doesn't know, Melvin is a Kiss FM presenter. He presents with Ricky. He presents the breakfast time, which is very early. It starts at 5 a.m. Melvin is very successful and he started his career in radio. So I went to have a chat with him and see, because I know he always wanted to be a TV presenter, so maybe radio is just a path for him to get into what he wants really to do. Let's see what I found out for him. Melvin, really nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you as well, Carla.
So I have a couple of questions for you for my special project. So this is going to be in a YouTube video, if that's okay with you. But how did you enter the industry? So as you said, you started as a tutor in a university. Did you do any networking? So as you said, you met that...
Yeah, so I used to work in Tower Hamlets College. And I used to work for a youth club in East London. And so I used to teach. And my friend Ricky was working at a station called One Extra for the BBC. And so he was like, Melvin, I'm working here and it's really great. And he did work experience everywhere. So he was like, why don't you come and do work experience at this radio station called One Extra and see how it goes. So I worked really, really hard for about 2-3 weeks, and then they gave me a placement as a freelancer. So
Melvin in radio, trying to be a TV presenter. Kiss FM, it's a very way to start because they often have to interview actors, producers, people with great influence in the industry, and which gives you a very good experience so you can use it later on. As in your CV, for example, look, I've done this. I actually was in radio, but I've interviewed a lot of people, which gives me the skills that I need. So I think that might be a very smart way to start your path.
Broadcast assistant, so I was like assistant producer, and I worked across all the different shows. So I worked for like the R&B show, for the hip hop show, for the live event shows, and I was there for about 2-3 years. And then off the back of that, we got signed to an agency called Something Else, and they helped us get our gig at Kiss. And Kiss was the first real radio gig that I had in front of the microphone.
So this was when you partnered up with Ricky?
Yeah, well, I was always with Ricky because I met Ricky at university.
You were friends before?
And we were friends, we lived together, and I think it was never like a plan to be like Ricky and Melvin. It was just like, it was always more fun when we were doing stuff together, so it kind of happened organically. And then when we got signed to the agency, we kind of did a show together. It was like we did a pilot together, we did like a show reel together, and that was what was seen by our boss at Kiss.
Once again, networking. Melvin managed to do some networking after reconnect to his friend Ricky that he did the university with. So, guys, have a look around. Your partner might be right next to you. So what tips would you give people, for example, like me, that are still in the university, trying to enter in the industry, in the TV industry or radio? What tips would you give us? Maybe talk about some networking.
Okay.
Or, I don't know, what tips can you give
There's so
us?
many different things you could do. When I was at university, there was a young lady called Chanel Robinson who was really inspirational because when she was at university, she was applying for work experience everywhere. I think work experience is the #1 thing you need to try and do because that's the kind of thing you forget about. Like, you work really, really hard for 3 years and you get a great degree and then you finish and you've got this degree and then...
What do you do with it?
Exactly. So I think if you've already had experience working somewhere, that's already a great kind of like step.
Gives you some background.
Exactly. So work experience is #1. Also, work out who you work well with at university. There's going to be certain people who you work well with now.
So maybe find a partner.
Well, you're just going to not find a partner. Just there's going to be certain people who are doing certain things when they leave university, and they might assist you in a certain way. So, for example, I would have never been doing the breakfast show with Ricky if I didn't meet Ricky. I would have never done a kids show called Dick and Dom in the Bungalow if I didn't meet Chanel Robinson, because she then went on to work for the BBC in production, and she called me up one day and was like, Melvin, I know you really like acting, why don't you come and do stuff like that? So there's certain people who are already around you who will actually help you on your journey.
So that's the networking.
So you're meeting people, networking is really important because it's, as much as it's what you know, it's also to do with who you know as well. And people enjoy working with people who they get on with. We started our own company called Men to Excel, where we used to do club nights and interview people. And the guy who set up the website was one of the guys who I met at university as well. So yeah, it's really important to meet, and don't disregard whether you're meeting someone in or out of the media industry. There's people who will help you on your journey in different ways. So yeah, really kind of like take note of who you meet and their skill set as well, and how you guys connect and how you can help them. That's really, really important. Work experience, like I said, is I think the number one thing, and never stop learning. And also, you guys live in an age where you've got stuff like Instagram, you've got Facebook, you've got Twitter, you've got YouTube, and you can start doing stuff yourself. You don't have to wait for a big corporation or company or a channel to pick up on what you do in your skill set. You can actually start doing things yourself. I know a whole heap of bloggers who are making money in their bedroom. They're not, making money because they're signed to ITV or they're signed to the BBC. Like, they're making money at home off their own back with their own content. So you can start doing stuff now, and it will also mean that you continue to work hard and continue to be a better presenter or broadcaster. So start doing things yourself.
Would you say that it's easy to gain an internship or work experience inside of BBC?
No, I think it's really hard to get work experience, and it's even harder when you feel like you're on the outside. That was probably one of my biggest hurdles when I left uni, because I was like, how do I get involved? Who do I speak to? But you know what? It's all about taking time and thinking about things. So, for example, there's going to be someone at KISS that deals with young people doing work experience and internships. And all you have to do is literally go online, call up reception and say, look, who deals with this? Who do I need to speak to? Do you have an email? And just message that person. And I think if you give someone a personal touch, if you really speak to that person and talk about the station or the channel that you're working for with passion, and you show that person that you believe in their brand, then they'll give you a chance. I think it's all about research as well. If you email a whole heap of different people the same letter, then they're going to kind of clock it. But if you personalize your demo, or you personalize your letter or your CV to that station or to that channel, then you'll stand out a bit more.
Yeah, because they will feel that you were interested in that particular one. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. That's basically exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what I needed.